Hey gang, Sean from The Good Dog. So, little tip here. This is for dog owners and dog trainers alike. So, I want everybody to be aware of how we create escalated stress or conflict moments unintentionally and that we might not even be aware of that are occurring, right? So one of the things that I always talk with all of our trainers here or anybody at T3 or anything like that, whenever we're working with people or shadow students or anything like that, I talk about after dogs are let out of their crate, shut the crate door behind them. If not, the tendency is oftentimes we take a dog out and leave the crate door open. What does that create? Well, if a dog's nervous, insecure, unsure about you, anything like that, it'll create conflict where the dog is thinking about going back into the crate, desiring to go back into the crate, wanting, like maybe even like really lusting to get back into the crate, depending on how intense the dog is, how fearful, how insecure, how nervous, etc., etc. So leaving that crate door open elevates stress levels, creates a higher escalation point that you may not even be aware of. You may not even know it's happening. And next thing you know, you've got a dog that you're dealing with, and it could increase the opportunity for the dog to erupt, bite, nip, do something like that. So, and the last thing you want is to create unintentional escalation points and stress and things like that that are going to get you hurt or one of your handlers hurt if you're a dog trainer or own a business, anything like that. So that's a really quick tip. Hey, Belle, that's a really quick tip about unintentional escalation points at a crate, but it can happen anywhere. So it can happen at a front door, right? A door or a back door. Any point where a dog might have conflict between what you're desiring it to do and what it wants to do can create elevated, escalated stress levels where a dog could redirect on you, bite you, could go after another dog, something like that. So I just want to plant in people's heads the idea about being aware of like eliminating these points. Like, so you wouldn't want to put an e-collar on a dog that you're not sure about, or even if it's your dog and it's like a nervous, insecure dog, whatever, you wouldn't want to put an e-collar or a prong collar or do anything intimate that gearing them up, like putting tools on them, like with a crate door open or by the back door or the front door with the door open, or even maybe proximity-wise, just close to the door. That may be enough to create conflict and stress enough that the dog may bite, redirect, something like that on you when you're trying to gear them up. So we were just working, me and Henri, we're just working with a German Shepherd, working on getting him, like geared up for the first time and getting his perception level on the e-collar. And she had him at the door to go out, and she was having a little bit of a hard time getting his levels on that. So I had her move him away from that door, bring him into the living room, and then we got levels really easily. So he moved 10 feet, and we solved that problem just by removing the conflict of like, he wanted to go out that door. So the levels that he was feeling were much different than the levels he was reacting to were different than the levels he was feeling, I should say. Moved him into here, different response. Same thing went with like gearing him up, anything like that. I wanted to take his e-collar on and off to make sure that he was getting good contact. So I moved him away from the door because I wanted to remove tension points or possible conflict or possible escalation. So I would never want to create a situation that's going to cause me or a handler or any of you guys to get into trouble. So think about it this way. Anything that could create conflict, tension, escalation points with your dog, you want to avoid so you don't get yourself hurt. So shut your crate doors after you bring a dog out. Get the dog away from the crate. Even that, like I said, doors don't even have to be open, but open doors, ooh, big invitation, right? So shut the doors. Sometimes you just need to get the dog away from the point that creates that conflict thing. So you may need to get the dog away from the crate to get the dog to relax and calm down and get to a different space. You may need to move a dog away from a doorway to get a more calm, relaxed, comfortable and safe dog. So these are just a couple of examples. It could be a million different things. You could be out on the street. You could be in a different place at your house. What I want you guys thinking about the concept. I want you guys thinking about the idea of stress levels being elevated by conflict points within the dog, or conflict points physically that create conflict points within the dog emotionally that you may not even be aware of. You need to be aware of them to keep yourself safe, and especially if you're a dog trainer, for God's sakes, because you're gonna be working with a million dogs that don't have a relationship or trust with you. So you gotta use every opportunity you can to keep yourself safe. But even dog owners, you certainly don't want to get bitten by your own dog. A lot of moments can happen like this where we're doing stuff, we don't realize that they're creating more stress, and stress is the easiest way to get your dog to do something that he wouldn't normally do, or to bring out the worst in your dog and get your dog's worst stuff. So hopefully that makes sense. Anybody have any questions about it? Hit me up in the comments. Happy to answer. And if any of you have examples that you want to share that you've seen, be generous and share those. But mainly think about the concept of moving your dog or the dog you're handling away from any place, points, areas that will create elevated stress when you're trying to get a safe reaction from them. So that way you keep yourself safe. Hope that helps. Little tip from Sean at The Good Dog. Uncle Sean, Uncle Santa. See you guys. That's enough out of me. Bye.